Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Bitcoin is still struggling at this major level of resistance in the shorter term, we're seeing a major dump continue in the Bitcoin dominance right now, which is continuing to advance the altcoin season, which is obviously helping a lot of the altcoin market, especially Ethereum right now, which is massively pumping towards the upside, towards this significant area of resistance that we need to pay attention to, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside the price of XRP, which is now officially retested and is bouncing from the previous all-time high level, now flipping into new support. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, as always, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market on these larger timeframes. And on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we still have a possible bearish divergence forming, but not currently confirmed, not currently in play, just something to watch out for in case it ultimately confirms later on at some point. And on this 3-day Bitcoin price chart, we're still looking more bullish than bearish. We've not confirmed any bearish crossover or anything here in the 3-day Bitcoin MACD. But with that being said, just in the immediate short term, we're losing a little bit of bullish momentum, but once again, it's still more bullish than bearish. And on this 3-day Bitcoin price chart, we still have a bullish cup and handle pattern, which is actively playing out, even though obviously in the immediate short term, we're taking a bit of a break as we are running into resistance. I'll talk about in just a moment, but at least for now, and this would only really invalidate if we see a confirmed break. So candle closes back below this level right here, sitting at around 110,000. So unless that actually happens, at least for now, this breakout, this cup and handle pattern here, the bullish price pattern, is still currently active with a technical price target at around 153,000. But remember, if the price actually broke back below 110,000 with confirmation, then that would invalidate that price target. And so overall, once again, on the larger timeframes, we're still looking more bullish than bearish, still very much in a bull market. And on this daily Bitcoin price chart, at least in the somewhat shorter term, and as we've seen over the last 1 week or so, obviously we've been struggling a little bit in the short term, taking a bit of a break, a bit of a cool off from all of the previous bullish price action here, now that we're running into significant resistance in the low 120 range, $120,000 range. So basically in between 120K to around 123,000, around that area on the price chart, expect a lot of resistance. And obviously that's what I've been saying basically every day for over a week now. And considering the fact that at least for now, this is still acting as strong resistance, essentially we should be expecting a little bit more relatively neutral price action, losing a little bit of bullish momentum in the immediate short term, but still not looking bearish, still in a larger bull market. Remember, we're simply just running into major resistance, which for now in the short term is preventing the price from going higher. But obviously, as I've been saying many times recently here on the channel, and as I'll talk about in just a moment in case you're new to the channel, while this is happening for the price of Bitcoin, there's a lot of opportunities right now to make a lot of money in the altcoin market, which once again I'll talk about in just a moment. And if we're zooming into the shorter term for the price of Bitcoin here on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that right now the price oscillators like the RSI, for example, have basically fully reset back down towards more neutral levels from this previous overbought territory here, this previous overbought signals, because usually when the RSI hits overbought, that basically tells us we're running out of room towards the upside in the immediate short term, and we need a little bit of time to cool off to reset the RSI. But obviously that's already well and truly happened over the last 1 week once again, which means technically we have more room towards the upside to potentially continue the bullish trend later on at some point. But remember, we still have a lot of resistance in this area in between around 120 to 123,000. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, at least for now, we can still see a lot of liquidity in the immediate short term, building just below the price of Bitcoin at around 116.7K. So basically in between roughly 116,500 to 117,000. Right around there, we do have a decent amount of liquidity basically right here, which means it's very likely, not a guarantee, there's no such thing as a 100% guarantee, but very likely that in the shorter term, most likely within the next few days or so, it's once again quite likely we could just dip just to take out that liquidity, not necessarily a major dump or anything, but once again, that is a level to watch out for in the short term. But But even though that's still building in the short term, we also have another area of liquidity to watch out for to the upside, sitting at around 121,000 to 121,500. But at least for now, that's not necessarily as significant as that level at 116.7k, which is telling us that it's slightly more likely we'll hit that 116.7k level, and then maybe after we take out that liquidity, we could come back towards the upside to take out that upside area of liquidity. But obviously, this is all talking about shorter term moves in the price of Bitcoin, whether we see a slight little dip like this or a little recovery like this. Either way, we're still basically just consolidating sideways, as we can see, bouncing around in a bit of a sideways price range, as the price is still struggling at this major resistance, but also still in a larger bull market, not really seeing any significant bearish price action. But this is the period in the market where you want to be set up ready to go to take advantage of the next trading opportunity. And obviously, in order to do that, you have to be set up ready to go on a crypto exchange. And personally, I'm taking a lot of my crypto trades over on BTNX, so I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this sign up page here where you can claim some massive trading and deposit bonuses. For example, you can claim up to $40,000 in trading bonuses and also up to $200 in deposit bonuses. So for example, the larger traders once again can get these massive trading bonuses, but even if you deposit just $1,000, you get a $200 bonus into your BTNX account, which you can actually use to trade over on BTNX. It's basically free money from the exchange just by depositing, but that is only available. You only get these bonuses if you use the link below this video to actually make your BTNX account. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway or preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well get set up ready to go using that first link below this video to BTNX to take advantage of these major bonuses here. And in case you're wondering, BTNX is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNX as an exchange, there's also 2bit as another option out there, another exchange that I also trade on. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below this video. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can also get some massive bonuses. For example, up to $50,000 in trading bonuses and also a $30 sign up bonus and a 20% deposit rebate up to a max of 200 USDT. So it's basically the same thing. If you deposit $1,000, you get a $200 bonus into your 2bit account. But once again, only if you use the link below this video to make your 2bit account. So once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, definitely check out the links below this video to take advantage of these major bonuses. And in case you're wondering, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the 3-day time frame, which is definitely a chart we should all be paying attention to right now. And obviously, I've been speaking about this chart every video, every day for the last couple of weeks now here on the channel, because obviously, for those of you that have been on this channel over the last couple of weeks, you'll know that I pointed out this major bearish divergence, which confirmed right around here. And I talked about when the Bitcoin dominance was here, that it's extremely likely that we're going to see a further pullback very soon in the Bitcoin dominance, which can cause an altcoin season, meaning a lot of the major altcoins like Ethereum, Solana, XRP, etc. will likely be outperforming Bitcoin, doing better than whatever Bitcoin is doing. And obviously, that's perfectly already playing out as I've been predicting over the last couple of weeks. And this is very likely going to continue. And now, obviously, at some point, we'll likely see a little bounce here and there in the Bitcoin dominance. So keep that in mind. It's unlikely this will just remain a straight line towards the downside forever. At some point, we will see some sort of little bounce, for example. But overall, we're still looking bearish. We're still playing out the bearish divergence on the 3-day Bitcoin dominance charts. But in case you're new to all of this, a bearish Bitcoin dominance is not necessarily bearish for the price of Bitcoin against the US dollar. For example, Bitcoin's just trading sideways, and Bitcoin can even play out bullish price action while the Bitcoin dominance crashes. Because what a crash in the Bitcoin dominance means is essentially the altcoins are gaining market share over Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's losing market share over the rest of the crypto market, which essentially means the altcoins are just outperforming whatever Bitcoin is doing. So Bitcoin could still be bullish or neutral or whatever, but basically the altcoins are just doing better than whatever Bitcoin is doing. And so for now, the altcoin season is continuing, and we could definitely see that in the price of Ethereum here on the 3-day Ethereum price chart. We could see a massive spike in the price, obviously, over the last couple of weeks. And obviously, I've been talking about this every day over the last couple of weeks, with a significant area of resistance, which we're now targeting at around 3.9k to 4.1k. And previously, since basically the beginning of 2024, we've seen many major rejections from this exact area on the price chart at roughly 4,000, give or take. And so obviously this creates a significant area on the price chart to pay attention to, a price target, but also a very likely area where we would likely struggle at or possibly reject from, obviously acting as resistance. But for now, obviously the trend and momentum is still pointing in the bullish direction, especially as I've been saying since we broke out above this golden pocket. From that signal onwards, that was extremely bullish for the price of ETH. And of course, that golden pocket was sitting in between 2.7k to 2.8k. So as soon as we saw that breakout above 2.8k right here, I said it's extremely likely we're going to see a major pump follow that breakout above 2.8k. And obviously that's been perfectly playing out as we can see. And so for now, obviously we've already surpassed this Fibonacci level sitting at around 3250, which would now likely act as support if we were to get back to that level. And we've also broken out above 3.5k, now acting as short-term support. And as of recording this video, we're potentially now breaking out above 3.7k, which in the immediate short term was a bit of resistance at roughly 3.7k based on this previous high. But especially if we confirm this daily candle close in the coming hours above 3.7k, then in that situation, obviously that would confirm the breakout above this final level of resistance between the current price and this next significant area. So basically this area in between 3.9k to 4.1k is the area that we should all be targeting right now. And especially if we first confirm that breakout above 3.7k, which we're still once again waiting for that confirmation, then that would likely flip into new support if you were to see a little bit of a pullback like that, for example. But remember, the larger trend and momentum is still looking extremely bullish on the daily time frame and the 3-day time frame. It's just worth pointing out, especially this area of resistance where the price could likely struggle at. But if you want to compare this area of resistance to another area of resistance where we've already broken out above, this is probably most similar to that previous golden pocket area of resistance here on the daily Ethereum price chart. Once again, in between 2.7k to 2.8k. For a long time, that was acting as significant resistance here. And actually for multiple weeks, in fact, for multiple months, we actually struggled around that level. So it is possible that maybe for a period of weeks, if not longer, we could struggle around here. But if we ultimately break out above this area, we may end up seeing the same sort of reaction that we saw with the breakout above 2.8k. Obviously, that area, once again, was very significant resistance for quite a while, just like this area has been very significant resistance. But anytime the price strongly confirms a breakout, decisively confirms a breakout with a candle close well above a significant area of resistance, usually the price does not stop there. We head a lot higher beyond that level. So obviously, if we actually break out above this area, above 4.1k decisively with candle closes above that level, then it's extremely likely the price would head much higher, and that could potentially be another trading opportunity. But obviously, we have to first actually confirm a breakout above that area. And remember, if you want to trade any of these moves or get ready for that next trading opportunity, check out the links below this video to those exchanges to claim those massive bonuses. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 2-hour Ethereum price chart, obviously just over the last few hours, over the last one day, we've now officially invalidated the previous bearish divergence with a breakout in the price. As soon as we create a higher high in the price, that at least temporarily invalidates the bearish divergence. And I say temporarily because at least for now, the price is forming another higher high, while the RSI is still currently forming lower highs here in the short term. And so what this means is that obviously we still have a new bearish divergence possibly forming right now, but not currently confirmed. So we've invalidated this previous bearish divergence. We're now possibly forming a new bearish divergence, but we're still waiting for confirmation signals to confirm the new bearish divergence. So for now, we no longer have a bearish divergence active on the price chart here, but one just forming, something to watch out for in case it actually confirms. So overall, we're still looking more bullish than bearish. And obviously, even if we confirm a new bearish divergence here in the short term, like I said, over the last few days with the previous bearish divergence, it's extremely likely it would only just play out maybe over a day or two, considering this is only on the 2-hour time frame. We're only looking at the very short-term movements. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the daily time frame, Solana, obviously with Ethereum and the Bitcoin dominance dumping and Ethereum pumping, we're seeing a continued bullish move for the price of Solana, along with a lot of the major altcoins out there. And right now, the price is retesting some major resistance based on these highs right here, sitting in between around 180 to 185. But if we see a confirmed breakout with ideally a daily candle close above 185, in that situation, situation, we have this golden pocket area of resistance in between around 191 to 199. But if we break out above ideally 200 with a daily candle close above 200, and even better, if we hold that as new support, in that situation, we could likely head a lot higher. I'm talking about potentially $230 as the next major price target if we first break out above ideally 200. And as for support to watch out for, I would expect previous resistance to flip into new support. So if we break out above these levels of resistance, expect support at those levels. And for now, the last level of resistance that we broke out above was at 167. So expect support at that level if we were to see any sort of pullback here. And if we're taking a look at the 8-hour time frame, right now the price of Solana is continuing to actively playing out the bullish cup and handle pattern that I've been talking about every day since this first breakout here, and all of these retests, multiple opportunities for trading here. And once again, that breakout was at around 158. And then of course, once we broke out above 167, that was a key level to break, as that was resistance back then. But right now, the price target is still sitting at around $194. So even from where we are right now to that price target, it's still around a 6 to 7% move towards the upside, or from the breakout to that price target, that was potentially around a 22 to 23% move towards the upside with no leverage. And so obviously anyone that took this trading opportunity, you should be doing very well right now. And this is still actively playing out, because remember, this pattern only invalidates by invalidating the price target if we see a confirmed breakback below this level at around 158. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, it is worth pointing out that as of recording this video, of course, we are invalidating this bearish divergence with a breakout in the price above this previous high. And we're possibly about to permanently invalidate this bearish divergence, not just temporarily invalidate it like the Ethereum bearish divergence here, because Ethereum, once again, is still forming some slight lower highs to watch out for in the RSI. But if we're taking a look at this 4-hour RSI for Solana, the RSI is possibly about to break out above this previous high, forming a slight higher high alongside a higher high in the price, meaning no divergence. And so overall, the trend, the momentum, the price structure is still clearly bullish. We still have active bullish price targets, bullish price patterns, all currently playing out. It's just obviously worth pointing out possible points of resistance that we need to pay attention to, but overall still in a bullish trend. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, obviously we also have a possible bearish divergence to watch out for here as well, which is currently forming but not confirmed. I want to make this clear, at least for now, this is not currently active. It is not in play. It's just something to watch out for in case it ultimately confirms maybe in the next few weeks or months. But it's very clear that right now the price of XRP is still very much in a larger bull market, still showing a lot of bullish momentum and bullish price structure. And how the price of XRP usually moves, when we see a lot of momentum, the price often moves in straight lines, both towards the upside and to the downside. We often see very volatile moves in the price of XRP. And right now we're potentially in the middle of a major volatile move towards the upside. At least if we're comparing this one to the last volatile move, for example, we could see what happened last time. And right now we're only just breaking out above the previous significant level of resistance at roughly $3. And of course, breaking out into new all-time highs. And the next significant Fibonacci extension level, the 2618 Fibonacci extension level here on the weekly time frame, is sitting at around $4.60 to $4.70. And I would also expect a lot of support at the previous Fibonacci extension level here, sitting at around $3. So if the price were for whatever reason to actually pull back here towards $3, expect a lot of support there. And if we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart, obviously before we could even get to $3, we also have a lot of support here, as I've already been saying here on the channel just over the last couple of days, sitting in between around 330 to 340 based on the previous all-time high area of resistance at 330 to 340, now flipping into new supports, because we've just seen a confirmed breakout well above 340 just a few days ago. And then obviously over the last couple of days, we actually retested that previous area of resistance to now officially confirm it as new support. And we're now currently bouncing from that area, which is very bullish price structure. And so obviously that means that that's the immediate area of support to pay attention to if we were to see any little pullback here. Once again, expect a lot of support in between 330 to 340 right now. And this obviously further confirms that the trend and momentum is still very much bullish. And it's honestly quite likely that soon we could see new all-time highs again, breaking out above the most recent all-time high. And obviously what is helping XRP and a lot of the altcoin market, especially XRP and Ethereum right now, is, of course, the major dump in the Bitcoin dominance. This is great news for the altcoin market specifically. Once again, it's not necessarily bearish for Bitcoin, but especially for the altcoin market, this is a big deal, showing us that we should really be looking at a lot of the major altcoins right now, which is where there's a lot of opportunities, as we could see. And remember, if you want to trade any of these moves, check out the links below this video to take advantage of those major bonuses over on those exchanges to actually trade crypto. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, right now Chainlink has just officially confirmed a breakout with a daily candle close above this significant area of resistance, which was sitting in between around $17.50 to $18. And the latest daily candle close, which confirmed over the last one day, confirmed at around $18.40. And obviously, as I record in this video, the price is continuing even higher beyond that level. And we're also potentially now confirming a significant double bottom pattern, or W pattern, which is a massive bullish reversal price pattern. And in case you're wondering, the more conservative technical price target, measuring from the slightly higher low here to the breakout line right here, taking a measured move, that will set up a technical price target at approximately $28 per Chainlink. So from where we are right now, as of recording this video, to that price target, that's well over a 40% move towards the upside with no leverage, or for example, even with a low leverage trade, like a 5x leverage trade, that would be well over a 200% profit in that example. As always, not financial advice. And so there's potentially some major opportunity here, but as I always say, it's important to understand that we'll likely find resistance along the way. It's unlikely that especially Chainlink would just move in a straight line towards that price target. So keep that in mind. And of course, if you were to break back below this area, so break back below $17.50 to $18 with candle closes back below that area, in that situation, that would be a change in this bullish price structure to the bearish direction, obviously, and that would invalidate this price target. And if we're taking a look at this daily Chainlink price chart, the next major area of resistance to watch out for is based on this golden pocket area of resistance, and also based on these previous highs, which is starting at roughly $20 and even just under $20, but basically in between around $20 to $21. That is the next major area of resistance that I'll be watching out for. And of course, if we see a confirmed breakout above ideally $21 and actually holding above that level, in that situation, I'd next be targeting close to $24. And then if we break out above $24 and especially above around 26 to 27, these highs right here, then once again, we have that major price target at around 28. And if we're taking a look at the immediate short term, taking a look at the 4-hour Chainlink price chart, we also have a possible bearish divergence currently forming, but not yet confirmed. I want to make that clear because at least for now, we have already confirmed higher highs in the short term in the candle closes in the price, but we're still just possibly forming lower highs in the 4-hour Chainlink RSI. This lower high, at least for now, is not yet confirmed. And in order to actually confirm the lower high in place, we need to see some sort of little rejection like this in the RSI, perhaps over a couple of candle closes in the red in the price action, in order to actually cement the lower high in place in the RSI, considering the RSI by default goes off candle closes. So once again, for now, this is just something to watch out for in case it confirms over the next day or so. And even if it confirms, it'll likely result in just a little bit of a cool off, maybe over a couple of days, but the trend can still remain bullish. Maybe we just see something like this and then continue the bullish trend later on. But remember, that's only if this first confirms. For now, it's not currently confirmed, which means overall, we're simply just looking bullish and we're just focusing on these major levels of resistance and price targets towards the upside. And once again, if you want to take any of these significant trading opportunities, which are only just beginning in the altcoin market, then make sure to check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can trade crypto no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit during bullish or bearish price action using long positions or shorts positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit during choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.